Well, good day, all. How's everybody today? Yeah, we got another interesting, how would you say, week, and another interesting week coming ahead of us here. I'm not sure how up to date everybody is on what's happening, but down in the States, obviously, you've seen that the Democrats have all fallen to pieces with their what I call the left wing narrative gone sideways because quite honestly, to try following what they're saying about Trump, and that's the thing about the left is they really spin these narratives hoping that people aren't paying attention, never will pay attention, and do not pay attention. So it's just, I mean, that's just the way it is. So like you listen to them talk, they're questioning witnesses who's and what did you see? Did you see it firsthand? No. Okay, tell us the chain. Well, it was my brother's wife's sister's mother's cousin's nephew's uncle who had a neighbor that heard the conversation. So, but they're reliable people. And that's where we're at. So I mean that's it's insane. But yet, like if you look, at the narrative that CNN, ABC, NBC, PBS, NPR are pushing, same thing. I mean, today the New York Times come out with a bald ass lie. I mean, it's amazing. Like you go to all you got to do is look this stuff up, and cross reference it, and not hard to figure out. Then we come to Canada, and Canada is getting interesting, like with the CBC. And I did a thing with CBC the other day, yesterday or last night, and I looked. I was seeing if I could find anything going on in Iran. Nope, nope, nope. Why would a company, CBC, CBC Pravda, as I like to say, why would they not put what's happening in Iran on there? Okay, that's a real good question. Well, it goes against the Islamic message that that all the the hijabs and all that are good. People love it. It's good for women. They like it, unless you live in a country that beats you, jails you, and all that stuff for actually not wearing it, or dancing, or for a lot of other things. So for all those women out there who are these social justice left wing kooks, really, really take a look at what you're trying to sanctify here, what you're trying to justify. Yeah, hey, it's up to you if you want to be subservient to men, if you want to have to wear head to toe covering, fine, so be it, then do it. But don't sit there and say you want equal rights and then back this up because you look at the basis for this, and and I'm not going to get into a long tirade about it, but it just, you can't have the best of both worlds. It's suppressing. But if you feel it isn't, start wearing them. Start staying at home. Don't talk back to the men. You're not a good witness because you're a woman. And this is what gets me is none of these women here have figured it out yet. They figure, oh, it's just like, wow, somebody told them they couldn't wear it in Canada because it is bad. Well, we can't be having that now, can we? So, as like I say, you keep pushing it, you will reap what you sow. And yeah, that's go to One Godless Woman's channel for those women who do not believe me. Don't take the word of a man, of course, but go to One Godless Woman. She's a doctor out of Saudi Arabia who was born and raised there and came to Canada. And she basically point blank, and she's not the only one, but she basically point blank tells people uh, what it's like over there and how suppressive it is and how much full of bullshit that religion is, because it's It is. I mean, I feel that way about most religions, but you know, so when people come to Canada and they're waving the flag, yay! Let's give away all our rights. Let's give these people special thing because they're they're I don't know special. I don't know. It just things have gone so sideways in the last 4 years with after PM Village Idiot. Um, it's crazy. I mean, it just people just have lost common sense. They just nobody. I don't know. Yeah, it's frustrating, but I mean that's just a few points. And you look at the. Well, moving on, we'll look at the cabinet that Prime Minister threw in, and you will notice I purposely do not uh, go through every name, the background, and that, because I take it that anybody's watching. If you're interested enough to argue, that means you're interested enough to read and already know what we're going to be talking about or am talking about. So I'm not going to put a bunch of graphics on there and explain things that if I could find it out, you should be able to find it out. And if you can't, I guess you don't got much to argue about. Common sense goes a long ways, and the information is, that's dollar. It's worth money. Those who have it are empowered. Those who don't, stupid. And I'm being blunt when I say that, but when we go and we look at the people he's put in Canada, Krista Freeland, look at her background, and just it's amazing. She's going to be looking after Western Canada Unity. That's a joke. Oh, and the other thing is, anybody, what exactly does a deputy prime minister do? Anybody? I don't want the conjecture from the CBC Pravda. Like realistically, they expanded the ministries. Now, where to begin? Well, let's just say, if all these people that are ministers get paid more money, they get a higher pension, all that. So they're not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. This is a higher portfolio, higher paying in that. And with higher pay, we assume that they've got some common sense behind them. Well, you'd think. Then along came PM Village Idiot, and that changed the whole world, or in Canada anyways. But it just, you look at her, how she dealt with China, how she dealt with the United States and that, and reading the MSN, she's like, oh, Krista Freeland is a idiot. There you go. Like I don't know what to tell anymore. Like, I mean, like I said in the last two videos, we don't have the A team, we don't have the B team. Hell, we don't even got the C team. We got the D team out there, all in for parity, equality, and you've heard this many times. If you're running a business, are you going to pick somebody out, man or woman? Are you going to take somebody who's got not a clue, or are you going to take somebody who knows what the hell they're doing? It's as simple as that. There's no magic formula to this. You want people who are in the know. Otherwise, what we do is we've got the bureaucrats running things. And I don't trust any of our bureaucrats in Ottawa, I'm sorry. And what I mean by bureaucrats is you got the deputy ministers, you got these guys are full-time, they're paid. This is what they do. They're not elected. So if you've got a moron in the minister's position, who's running the show? That would be the people that we didn't vote in, doing this, making recommendations, doing the background research. So it's pretty easy to manipulate the information coming in that you're feeding it. And what could go wrong with that? Possibly. What could possibly go wrong with that? Having non-elected people run the country. Gee whiz, let's see. I'll take a look at the last 4 years and we'll see. Like Gerald Butts, was he elected? And that other bitch, I got it tuned down so it's not 18. Anyways, I can't even remember her name. I mean, what did anybody elect them? Did anybody vote for them? No, we didn't. So, and essentially, what I'm getting at is again, and I'm going to keep hammering this home, is that we really need to get the hell. Western Canada really needs to get the hell out of this train wreck called Canada. Quite seriously, um, there's a fight coming. Now, it's going to be a fight for your minds. That's be part of it. Whether it'll actually get violent, that's up to Ottawa and how they select the narrative. But I will say this, and this take this as a warning for from me, whoever the hell I am, um, that we have 4 years to leave. I almost guarantee you that as we speak, they are talking about taking immigrants and dropping them into Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, southern part, and Vancouver here is pretty much toast anyways, and sprinkling them out to throw the balance away for the volume of immigrants that they're going to be bringing in. That's going to be huge. So why would we stay if that's going to be the case? And this is why I say there's only 4 years, might even be less than that. It doesn't take 4 years to leave a country. Now, I know, and I'm already hearing it from Jason Kenney, you know, they're going to, yes, we're for Alberta and that, we're going to sit and talk, and we're going to talk and talk, and for the last 39 fucking years, that's all we did. Here we are. What are we going to talk about? What could we possibly talk about? What? Anybody? Seriously. Promises like, oh, well, we'll look into it. We'll make you feel better, and pay very close attention to the language that's going to be coming out of Ottawa and the people that are saying it. Very close to what they say. May do this. I might do that. You know, may is not a directive. And what I'm saying is contract language. That we may do this, we may cancel sometimes, which means we don't know, at our whim. It means nothing, pretty much, basically, is what it means. So if we say we may give Alberta this, we may give that means that we're past that point. And I honestly don't see, and anybody who's going to be watching this video, honestly, no matter where you stand, do you see Quebec or Ontario giving up power to the West? Anybody? Do you see that happening in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years, in the next 12 years, in the next 50 years? I'm not going to be around then, but realistically, it's not going to happen. If it hasn't happened already, it'll never happen. And I'll go back to what I had said before. 39 years ago, Alberta was pissed off. Saskatchewan was pissed off. Saskatchewan was still where they were a little bit behind Alberta in development, but nonetheless, it hurt all of us out here. And there was like the WCC party. I can't remember. There was a few separatist parties going around, and they were talking to people all about separation and that. And then, you know, it kind of, you know, there was not really anything solid, firm, you know, like no constitution was drafted. Nobody made a statement, you know, we got to have this. People decided, okay, well, and obviously this is where the Reform Party came from, you know, Preston Manning and all that. Went in to make changes in Ottawa to make Canada more equal for the provinces. Now, this all started 39, some say 40 years ago. I'm going to say 39 because that's when most of us got majorly impacted in Alberta in the oil patch. And people were pissed. So, like I said, go forward, went there, going to go work in Ottawa. We're going to make everything good and fine, you know, balance it out and that. No matter what happened in between there, take a look at where we're at today. 39, 40 years ago, we're right here. We didn't move. We ran around in circles around the start, but we didn't go anywhere. We're right back at square one. 40 years, 39 years. Now, Think about that. That's a long time. 4 decades, almost, depending on how you want to count. So if you think in 40 years we didn't go anywhere and we're right back at the start, what is going to happen now that's going to change what didn't change in 40 years? When do you stop beating your head against the wall? Quite literally. Now, all these other side stories going on, it's all great background noise. Oh, we're looking at this. Oh, yes, we got to give you more of what's. It's all bullshit. We've heard all this before. And this goes out to all you guys that are looking at separation. The time is now. It's not going anywhere. And if we do not separate in 4 years, we never will. We will be stuck here forever. That's the thing. And if that's what you want, fine. I think we could do a lot better than that. And I mean, I understand people are, Canada, because, it's what we're used to in that. I look at this as a golden opportunity, an opportunity to do things properly. Take the time. Once we decide to separate, lay the paperwork out, okay, next year we're gone. Well, now we can form our own constitution. We can do like a real constitution where people are all have the rights, not like the Canadian Constitution, which PM Village's dad come out with, which is, I hate to say it, it's a piece of garbage, really. I mean, I'm sure I'll get an argument out that, but compared to other things, it's left the door open for all kinds of abuses, all kinds of underhanded tactics that have been used against gun owners, against freedom of speech. All your rights have been under assault. Why? Because the Constitution allows it, so it's a piece of garbage. Sorry. It proved me wrong on that. If it's so great, why are we at this point? So, if we're going to separate, we do our own constitution, we do it properly. We take it out, we look at it, what do we want? We've got lots of good countries to choose from. We can write our own. However, we're masters of our own destiny. That's the definition of freedom. Now, people are going to say, well, what about this group? What about this group? Fuck those groups. And quite honestly, I'm sick of everybody, oh, this is my right, this is my right, this is my right. Every individual has right, not groups of people. You got the right to, and I'm going to take one off the states, and I'm sorry because I do admire their constitution. The pursuit of happiness, wealth, you got the right to own guns, you got the right to own land, you got the right to own the resources. Right now in Canada, unless you've got the mineral rights, you ain't owning shit. So we could set that all out. And we've got a chance to do it properly, to do it right. And we can do it right. I have faith. We've got some pretty sharp people out here. And I think between all of us, we can actually figure out where we need to go and to make a real good, strong country. Now, how we deal with things, with our resources, with our people, with our land, that's another thing we need to talk about. What currency we're going to use. We've got our, basically, first and foremost, and I don't want to get into a big political debate. You got the First Nations here. So the First Nations, basically, they get recognized as Indigenous people. They have the same rights and equal opportunities everybody else does. Because if we start saying that you're more equal than these people, we're done before we even start. So everybody's got to be on the same level, same playing field. That's all I'm saying. That's not prejudice. That's not racist. That's just intelligence. That's just being smart. I mean, and again, prove if you think I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Tell me what I'm wrong about. But on a whole, I think what people have to start looking at is, rather than say, God, what's the disaster going to be from Canada? Look at the golden opportunity we have to make something really special happen here. Like I said before, you're masters of our own destiny. We can do that. Our old postal system, our old roads. I mean, hell, you look at Western Canada. You look at how far we've come due to our resource management. I mean, yeah, there's always bad points. There's always been bad things happening, but I mean, on the whole, we're blessed out here. Blessed to the point that now we're getting robbed by the East. Quite simply, that's Princess, by the way. Say hi, Princess. So it's just as simple as that. I mean, we want to have our own destiny in our own hands. Now I watched Rance Derrick, I watched Raging Humanist, and on their live streams and that. I like those guys. I listen to them. And if you guys ever run across my video, you guys need to come out here. You'll always have a place. Julie Mora and your family, you guys are more than welcome. And I honestly think that like-minded people should start staying together. And unfortunately, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm going to kind of add on to this. If you read, I'm a Civil War buff. I've read tons of books. I've actually gone through all the battlefields and all that, just having a look when I lived down there. When they were having problems, like the Civil War wasn't decided in a year. It had been brewing for about 10 years or 20 years before that. Sound familiar? And when it was finally getting close to the call, basically it was brother against brother, family against family, state against state. Everybody picked a side, and that's where they went. Some went south, some went north. And the same thing's going to happen here. If you want a real future where we can destine and actually make a difference in signing our Constitution, making a new one, something that's actually meaningful, that's going to benefit all the people, not just governments, not just some frickin' harebrain that the East decides to put in, because that's another thing our Constitution's allowed. We could have, I mean, there's many things that we need to discuss to put in there and debate about, because quite literally, this opportunity will never come again. Not in my lifetime, and probably not in most people's lifetime. And I let that sink in for a minute. I also think people say, things like that will never happen here, like I never hope for violence. I'm not running away from it. I mean, if push comes to shove, stand up for what I feel is right, as most people do. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not saying I want to shoot people. I don't. But I will protect what I consider valuable and the rights of the people out here. I'll protect that. And the old saying is, I may not agree with what you say with, but I will fight to the death to allow you to say it. Same with here. I will fight to the death for us to be able to do what we need to do. I hope it doesn't come to that. I pray to God. But right now, I don't see where we have a choice. But going back to what I was saying about brother, what's happening now is people are starting to talk. If this starts happening, I'm going to come out west. Some people will say I'm a federalist. I'll go back east. Okay, well, and that's fair enough. But the end result is something has to change. 40 years, it did not change federally. That did not work. It didn't. Not at all. Otherwise, we wouldn't be right back at square one. Start. We're right on start again. So we need to go. That may not sit well with other people. I don't care. You're comfortable in that, move east, whatever. But things have to change, because we can't do this, and I don't want my grandkids and all that, and other people's grandkids and children to live under this type of tyranny. And basically it is tyranny. That's on a minor scale compared to other places in the world, but it's tyranny nonetheless. Financial tyranny. Call that what you will. So basically, what I would like to call on is, I'm moving here probably in another 3 weeks. I'm going, I'll be right on the Alberta border, or in Alberta. I'm going home, back to my home province. because right now is a very important time in history. I see that. And I would call on anybody else on. Now I know this is where the rubber meets the road, boys and girls. It's time to make a choice. You got to be in one side or the other. You can't real fence it here. It's going to be for all the marbles. So let's make this happen. Let's try making it happen peacefully, but nonetheless, we got to go. That's as simple as that. And I appreciate everybody who stops in and looks at the video. Appreciate the time. If you'd like to subscribe, please do down on the channel, down here. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment at the very least, if you would. That'd be great. Because I would like to hear what other people think, because I'm not saying I'm 100% correct. Although in this issue, I think I'm probably at least 99.9% correct. So anyways, you all have a good day. Everybody take care. We'll talk to you later. This is Two Rivers, Mark Pope, out.